Welcome to Justice Files, where we take you behind the scenes in King County's criminal justice system. I'm Kimberly Hill. Drug Court is celebrating its 20th anniversary this year. It provides treatment for adults charged with drug-related felonies and has become a national model as a smart, compassionate government program.
Guns were around, people shooting dope, ODing. I'd be in that corner getting high, taking a quick hit.
All of the things that were important in my life gave way to the drug use.
I was using really bad and I ended up getting in trouble, and that's what the charges for drug court came from, and I ended up getting beat up trying to steal a car, and the guy almost killed me.
I probably did about 15 years since I came to Seattle in '91. I got over 50 misdemeanors.
Stories of addiction. For many, the road ends here. Or here. But for some, it can end here.
All you got to do, if you do what people ask you to do, you're going to make it through this program.
King County's Drug Court, a therapeutic court designed to hold people accountable and treat their addiction.
Attending treatment, 3 sober support meetings a week, monitored random UAs twice a week, those are drug tests, and then they also come to court every 2 to 4 weeks and develop a relationship with the judge.
This is my empowerment plan.
Once I get talking with them, I just am who I am and they are who they are. And I really respect and like the folks that come before me.
And Mr. Town, I know that I have said this to you before, but you are not the same person that I met when you first came through those doors.
No, I'm not high.
And that is absolutely right. But more importantly, you've changed. It's not just about I'm not high. You have actually changed. You have done all the work. You are holding yourself accountable.
They tell me their life stories. They tell me about losing a parent. They tell me about losing a child. They tell me about living under the bridge. All of the reasons why they're here. And I feel that I need to be able to touch that.
I want you to succeed. I wouldn't be sitting in this chair if that didn't matter to me.
Okay, yes.
Okay?
Okay.
Because not everybody has a clean and sober place to go after TRP. So I don't know you. We're still getting to know each other, right? Okay, and we're going to do this for a while.
The judge gets to know the person, takes notes when they come back again, asks them about things going on in their lives, and I think that the judge becomes an authority figure, even like a parent in a way.
I made it to all my groups on time. I've made it to my NA group thing, and that's my support network.
You need to continue doing exactly what we ask you to do, okay? We know what we're doing, all right? Don't blow us off. We're here to help you. Believe it or not, we're here to help you. And I know a lot of people don't understand that if you're in a courtroom, but that's what we do.
The judge who they develop a relationship with, and so it really becomes this we end up being kind of a supportive family in a weird kind of way for these folks who are really trying to make some really major change and put their lives back together. So how about you come and see us next week and share with us, how you're going to fill up your day? Okay.
I love the interaction with the defendants. The prosecutor, before we had programs like this, we would never talk to a criminal defendant because the rules prohibit us from doing that. Here's what I like. You've never met the judge before. You're being honest with her about your continued struggle with using. Here, as you saw, I get to talk directly to them. I get to talk about them with the judge. It's very much a group dynamic that we have going on. I learn more about them, but we also get to figure out how can we help them.
Drug court gives you that chance to get in a clean and sober place. Then they give you all these incentives why not to use. We're going to send you back to jail, and they make you take UAs, so you got to stay clean, and you got to go to meetings.
So there was this rumor that you actually got the GED. So tell me about it.
Well, I went to school, and I studied hard, and I took the test, and I passed it. That's about it.
Come on, folks, he got his GED. It's a big deal. It's a big deal.
But it's not all encouragement. There is accountability.
You lie to this court, you will go to jail.
I did not get the jury box thing done.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a problem.
Right, and honestly, that's my mistake. You know, I didn't really fully understand it. I should have called. I didn't. I accept full responsibility for it. I'd really appreciate it, you know, if I could, you know, get, you know, another shot or maybe another day of jury, but, you know, I'll accept whatever decision you made.
Part of recovery, though, is doing what needs to be done. That didn't happen here. So I am going to remand you until tomorrow morning. And then we have a clean slate. All right?
So it's not really a question of being tough or not. It's really more a question of paying attention to how people are doing, and when they're doing great, absolutely supporting that and making sure they're getting credit for how well they're doing. And when they're not doing great, pointing that out and make sure that there are appropriate responses.
Wait, there, perfect.
And there are playful responses as well, like the fishing bowl.
People come in here so excited because they've done it all right. And all they want to do is have a fishing date with me.
What are we going to do? No, we're going to go fishing.
Oh, yeah, that's
Come on. You're an express? Okay, close your eyes. Close your eyes. All right, swish it around. Get the right one. Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna Target card again. Yeah.
All right.
$25. I can't believe it. Again. That's because I think it's the baby. Yes. Diapers. There you go. I like that.
If they're able to get through all 4 stages of the program, then they don't go to jail, they don't go to prison, they graduate and the charges are dismissed.
I want to thank each of you for being here, for showing yourselves first that you could do this, because you're each worth it.
This reduces crime, it reduces addiction, and is cost effective. So no matter what your political persuasion is, it works.
And we see people put their families back together. We see healthy babies. We see a lot of healthy babies.
We had a guy come in 2 days ago. He was 29 years old. He's looking at going to prison for 20 to 60 months if he got convicted. He's doing great with us, and he wanted to come in and show the judge his driver's license.
I am so lucky to have the job that I have. I mean, I say that every day, how great it is to be in a position where we are actually able to help people.
It is a miracle. It is.
There was a special guest at this year's drug court celebration, someone who could relate to overcoming addiction. He's a star and an inspiration to many.
I am pleased to introduce to you my former neighbor, Ben Haggerty, who some of you may know as Macklemore.
How you guys doing today? It is good to be here. Congratulations to everyone. Can I put this? Check. Yeah. I don't want to hold it. Yeah, that's nice. There we go. Why am I here right now? I think the biggest qualification for me standing on this podium is the fact that I am an addict, I am an alcoholic, and that has been a huge part of my story. It is the fabric that makes me who I am. It is the thing that I wake up with every single day. No matter how long I have sober, I wake up with untreated alcoholism. I wake up with addiction. And if I don't get on my knees and say a prayer to my Creator, to the Spirit that I believe is the reason why I am here, I have a great chance of being an active alcoholic, an active addict. So it is imperative for me to wake up every day, give thanks, and thank the Creator for another day of sobriety. Now, it has not been an easy road. I first got arrested when I was 15 years old and ended up in drug court. It was not easy, but it was a time in my life that I was struggling, and I've struggled for years after that, but that was the beginning. The thing is that I had this allergy, right? I put alcohol in my body, I put drugs into my body, and I cannot stop like normal people. I don't know why that is. I don't know if it was genetics. I don't know if it was my conditioning. I don't know why. All I know is that that is my truth. And I've spent 31 years on this earth trying to figure out my truth. And the thing that is clear, what is evident, is that if I do put those things in my body, I cannot be a fulfilled, happy, content person. If I put those things in my body, I don't love myself. And they can't coexist. I'm doing something that is killing me, that I could easily put myself in an environment where I could kill somebody else. I could hurt somebody else. They could end me right back up, in a courthouse, or they could, even worse, in a coffin, or somebody else in a coffin. This is life and death to me. It is that serious. Now, the one thing that I had when I was a kid was music. That was the driving force of me wanting to be sober, to stay sober. Because when I used drugs and alcohol, I couldn't write. A lot of musicians talk about I need to get high, I need to get drunk to be in the studio, to be creative. For me, it was the exact opposite. I would use drugs, I would use alcohol, and that spark, that creativity, that connection to life was gone. Now, this was the reason why I wanted to be sober. So I knew from an early age that I could not control this. From the very first time that I drank alcohol in my house on Capitol Hill, listening to Tupac, Smirnoff vodka, I ended up on a bus downtown right there in McDonald's, throwing up in a trash can by myself at 15 years old. That's not normal. That is not normal at all. And it took years and years and years until I finally got into the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous, until I got clean and sober for the first time. And as Laura said, it has not been an easy path. I'm a drug addict, I'm an alcoholic till I'm gone. That is part of my blood. It's what it is. I accept that. And I know that if I'm going to be successful, continue to be successful, that I need sobriety in my life. Now, the criminal justice system. Woo! What a system it is. I spent my years in college working at Green Hill and Maple Lane. After that, I got hired. I spent doing I facilitated cultural meetings there. And after that, I ended up getting a job in the intensive management unit at Green Hill, which is a fancy word for the whole. And I worked with young men, and I would listen to these kids' stories. And so many of them came in on these petty, small drug charges and ended up getting in a fight in jail, accidentally, hitting an officer. Countless stories of people that came in with one issue and ended up in the system going on to the penitentiary. And it broke my heart time and time again to hear these young men tell their stories about their situation that we've all been in. Probably the majority of people in this room have gotten high before, have been drunk, have been out of control. We all do mess up. This is a process. Life is a process. It goes ups and downs. And I've watched these men transition to, some came out, some were successful on the outs, some ended up coming back out. The recidivism rate was extremely high back then. I'm sure it's extremely high back now, because when you are in the system, it is challenging to get out of it. It is extremely challenging to get out of it. And I am a firm believer that people want to heal. People want to be happy. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for our truth. And it is very challenging to find your truth inside of a cell. A lot of people do it. A lot of people do it. A lot of people come out better than they were. You know, they are danger to society, but they go in, and some can come out better, some can come out worse. But what I do know is that drugs are something that change lives. And if you look at the system and you look at the way that it is set up, it is not in place for rehabilitation a lot of the time. It is for safety, it is for security, but it is not to rehabilitate, to heal. And to me, that is why drug court is so beautiful, is because it gives people an opportunity to get sober, to work out their issues. We all have these character defects. We all have these things that we're struggling with that make us who we are, but that we have to work through. We have childhoods with pain. We have ways that we escape. We have fear. We have insecurity. We don't love ourselves, so we turn to these things to numb our minds, to numb our bodies, so we can get through the day. And I don't want to just get through the day. I don't want you to just get through the day. I want to live. I want to feel this existence. Get to the root of the problem. And that is what drug court is about to me. Let's figure out who we are. Let's figure out our truth, and let's work hard to fix it. You know, not put a Band-Aid over it, not put a cell around it, but to actually get to the core of what makes us a human being and change. Now, you just say break us off? All right. Someone put a beat on. All right. No, just kidding. Nice cue. You know, as Laura said, I said earlier, it has not been easy for me. These last 2 years, I never thought that I would be on a stage at the Grammys. I never thought that I'd be winning these awards. I never thought that my music would reach as far as it has. And with that has come, you know, great things and things that have been a real struggle for me. I haven't been sober the whole time, straight up. I wish I could stand up here and say, you know what, I've been perfect ever since I walked into the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous or an NA meeting. I've been straight. It hasn't been the truth. I am an unfinished product, but I know today that I am working at it. And I know today that if I am sober, I have a chance. If I'm not, I don't. Straight up. It's that black and white. And I've known that since I was 16 years old. It's been the same truth. If I put this in my body, I can't make music. If I don't, I believe in myself. If I put it in my body, I'm untrustworthy. I am a liar. I am deceitful. The people that I love the most in this world, I can't look in the eye. I don't want to go through life like that. I want to go through life looking at the people that I love, knowing that they trust me, that they believe in me. I want to believe in myself, and the only way that that works is if I have sobriety. I would not be here. I would not have an album. I wouldn't have an award if it wasn't for that sobriety. I'm grateful for this opportunity to share my story today. And I just want to say to everyone, this is it. We get one shot at this life. And we get some resets. But this is not given. This is not given. I've lost 5 friends to this disease. Close friends of mine, people that I grew up with, that I watched the drugs and the alcohol take them out. And I don't want to be a statistic. I don't want you guys to be a statistic. And the fact that you're here today and you've shown up and you've put in your work and you've peeled away the layers that make you who you are and you've gotten to that truth, that is the ultimate service to yourself and to the community. And I applaud all you guys. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Navigating the court system can be challenging, especially for young people. But Charlie Hinckley tells us about a program that is reaching out to youth and families.
But who loves to rock? Bunnies and squirrels. They're going around and around and around. Touch it. Yeah, around and around. Touch this one. He's hopping. Hop, hop, hop. Baby. I love being a grandma. It makes me feel young, and I am. I'm a grandma, and I'm a mom, and I'm just taking it one step at a time.
Melinda is raising her grandson because his father, at 19, has a life too complicated to include being a parent. Melinda spent years navigating the juvenile justice system with her son.
I think his first offense came about 14. So we were dealing with drugs, we're dealing with theft, we're dealing with all kinds of really, really grown-up things. And this is a kid who's trying to find his way.
Like many parents who find themselves in juvenile court, Melinda was frightened and confused.
I didn't know what to do. I didn't know who to talk to. I sat there and waited for the attorney to come, and oh my goodness, I didn't know if I could talk to the attorneys. I didn't know if I could talk to anybody about whatever, because it's still his case, it's private matters, it's a lot of unknown, and I think the unknown is what made it so terrifying.
Although defense attorneys work directly with the child they're representing, it's essential for parents to be involved in the court process also. And King County has a program to help make that easier. It's called Juvenile Justice 101, and it's all about giving parents key information to help their children.
Hello everyone, my name is James. I'm a family partner with Juvenile Justice 101. First of all,
we know from research that parents are one of the main sources that kids look to find out about the court. And so if parents have misinformation or don't know what's going on, it's actually a huge risk for then the youth getting misinformed about the court.
Juvenile Justice 101 was developed through a partnership between the University of Washington and King County Juvenile Court. It includes presentations in the lobby of the juvenile courthouse, resource information, and family partners who are available to speak to other parents one-on-one. Everyone who works for Juvenile Justice 101 has been through the justice system with their own children.
And so all of our family partners know what that feels like, and we can sit down with the family and say, you know, I've sat in those chairs. I've cried those tears. I know firsthand how that feels.
Juvenile Justice 101 created a resource booklet for families. It explains the court process and the roles of court personnel, defines words used at court, provides resource information, and lists important phone numbers.
So no matter where I was, what I needed to do, that one booklet became everything I needed.
When parents learn how to become involved, everyone benefits. For one thing, they help make sure kids show up for hearings.
They also, in the beginning court process, provide a lot of information to the judge or the probation counselor, kind of about what kind of makes this kid tick and what their needs are, and that can be, and also whether they feel safe with the kid coming home.
We are empowering those parents. So with information, with processes, and with opportunities for them to engage, for them to have a voice at the table, as well as, of course, the youth having a voice there.
Have you guys started talking about the next steps and how we're going to reach out to the Somali community?
King County Juvenile Court, UW researchers, and the Juvenile Justice 101 team are making plans for community outreach, starting with Somali and Latino community groups. Eventually, the program will be replicated in other parts of Washington.
Because it shows to be both a promising practice and actually, I think, as we look at the concept of family engagement, my belief is being critical to not only success in the juvenile justice system, but success in life.
Fishy eyes. Parents need help and support. That's what they need, and that's what they were given. And I think it's groundbreakingly tremendous. All done. All done? Okay. What do you want to see next?
Prosecuting domestic violence cases can often be difficult. Many times, the victim in the case is hesitant to testify, but the investigating police officer can make all the difference. A two-bedroom apartment on a busy street in Burien.
One way in and one way out, and that was through the front door.
Inside, a startling reality, a group of women being forced into prostitution.
Some of the women in the house, later through interviews, they described the lock as not a lock to keep people from coming in, but it was a lock designed to prevent them from getting out.
Police say it was this man, Clarence White, who was the women's jailer. He wore the key to the door around his neck. The house was a prison, a drug market, and a torture chamber.
He was a very, very large, very big, intimidating guy. 6'3", 330 pounds, with just a real deep, thunderous voice. He ruled that place with an iron fist.
Police were called dozens of times for assaults and domestic violence, but they were handicapped.
Part of the defendant's, Clarence White's, MO was to get no contact orders against his victims to kind of keep them in line and control them.
When he was beating them up and other people called the police or they tried to call the police, the girls would get arrested instead of him because there was a domestic violence no contact order in place.
It took years to build a case against White and to get the victims to trust the system enough to testify.
I think we gathered a lot of facts. We put a lot of probable cause together on paper, and the prosecutor's office is who really took it and made the case.
White was finally charged with promoting prostitution and domestic violence. Prosecutors say without Detective Fitchett, they would not have had a case.
Getting our victims assistance out of the home when they felt that they were in danger. He also assisted in tracking down our witnesses. And most importantly, I believe for our victims, he helped them get into inpatient treatment and to get them away from Clarence White.
Fitchett credits a team of investigators and a nonprofit organization called REST.
Their sole purpose is a recovery process and to get women out of human trafficking, out of prostitution, to get their lives back on track, back together. They have a whole world of resources through education, housing, counseling, and it doesn't cost them anything.
Clarence White ultimately pled guilty. He was sentenced to 11 years in prison. His victims are recovering.
It was nice to go through the process, to working with the prosecutors, to see everyone's hard work come out and put, a monster away. But I'm not sure that 11 years is long enough.
Detective Fitchett is being awarded the Norm Mailing Outstanding Law Enforcement Professionalism Award. Thanks for joining us for the Justice Files. I'm Kimberly Hill. Visit us online at kingcounty.gov/KCTV.